Hello, everybody, and welcome to my channel. I hope every single one of you is having a wonderful evening. It's very cold in New England. We're having a lot of wind, bringing it down to like 0 degrees. And it's just a good, fabulous time for everybody, actually. And I'm loving it. It's real good, right? We're making progress. We're moving along with the things that we planned on. Um, we have just so much to talk about. I almost didn't make this video, but instead of taking a break and watching TV, I'd rather be here with you at least for a few minutes, right? So we can keep you guys posted, keep you guys updated. I got this, I got this, and I got this little thing. It's a little dot by dot. It's really a real good lifesaver for me because it takes you out of your mind and it concentrates you on one single thing for a little bit, and then you can raise your vibration that way. There's so many ways to raise your vibes. It's a wonderful thing. Now, I don't mean that to say that everything isn't a hunky dory and everything's fine and we're doing great. It's definitely a process that we have to do to get to where we have to be. So that's why some of you are able to think a little better now. Clearly, it takes time to get there. You've been following my advice and just going through the whole motions here, and I'm just having a chat, with you. So I do plan on making having doing a just an illustration that I'm not too sure about. I haven't really drawn anything out specifically, but we can make this like a Q&A. Your excuse me. Hold on, let me grab a drink. All right. So you had a question before, sis, and your question. I'm trying to just recollect the energy that you give out, right? Kind of remember what it is that you just kind of set something in there real quick. It was fast, and I didn't quite get it then, and I was on a roll with something. You asked me something about what was going on, and it's I think it was about you and who you are or what's the goal and what's the purpose. I think when you read the Bible and it talks about the seeds, and you put some seeds in one place and it grows in the rocks and it grows in fertile land, or it doesn't grow in certain environments, and it kind of sprouts and it gets to its maximum ability, right? It grows all the way up to being the plant is meant to be. We are you're what you're asking. I think it's what you're asking, and I hope I'm asking you, your question specifically is it goes further than the subject that you're talking about, and I can explain it. What I'm saying is, if I explain this to you, it'll make sense until you reach a level of awareness where that part of what I told you is truthful, but then you realize that there's yet another level of understanding about things that you need to know about, right? So there's like in the Kabbalion, there's rules of creation, and one of them is the myriad, where one level, you're just as much as you're supposed to know at a level before you go on to the next level, and you progress from there to different kinds of levels, and you understand things a little better. It's like looking at the staircase and you're saying, well, mom and dad go up that staircase and I could barely crawl. I'm crawling, but I can stand, but I can't get up there. And the baby will try and go up the stairs and maybe fail. obviously, for the obvious reasons. But with enough time, you can build your muscles to get to where you want to be. All right, right. So the question, the who are you or who am I, right? So uh, you are you're just a soul that's progressed enough, right? And has received the entryway to being uh, uh, capable of receiving knowledge. And I now remember what I wanted to say to you specifically and to everybody. It's very simple. If you think you're an old soul, if you think that you've been here before, you have the craziest um, like experiences for yourself that you just can't quite believe, right? Then you're going to be surprised, but it's good never to feel like you're in awe or you're shocked about knowing certain things. So think about your experiences that you've had throughout your life that you feel are just weird or strange. Maybe you are in your room and all of a sudden you see this huge ball of white light coming towards you, right? Um, or you see these like bright spots, orange and red and white, and it's glimmering. It looks like glitter in midair. It's beautiful when you see that. And I always like to think, okay, like what am I thinking about that caused that, or under what circumstances have I provoked this feeling, or what am I doing at the moment where I get to see these sort of phenomena that might be feel weird or strange for others. If you explain it to them, they'll just think you're nuts, right? Either way, what are these things that are happening in your life that you believe that is just a little extraordinary for you? And I'll give you the examples of what I've seen or what I felt. They're talking about the Panama Canal. The Panama Canal is okay. It feels to me that we've already the Panama Canal was given back to Panama in the early to mid 2000s. It wasn't that far ago for me. So when I saw the news, just like when Nelson Mandela died, there was a time rift, and you can say in theoretically that you've time traveled because you experienced Nelson Mandela dying. Then you hear about it again that he's dying, as if we've gone back. And then this is where we go to that other level of experience, which is personal for me. It's an individual perception of my reality, but it also um, doesn't have to necessarily be your experience, right? I think they call it the butterfly effect, where people are misremembering things at a bunch. You know, where did that Indonesia flight MH370 go? There could be a scenario where the date where that happened has an impact on when people remember that it happened, right? And maybe we don't know all the details about that, okay? So for me, I believe strongly that this is a sort of timeline that ended or that we moved away from. I'm going to get to this. You like images and pictures. And I picked out this nice, colored pencil that I found because I was doing pencils, but I got this colored pen, and it's a little better because the pencil wasn't really doing too good for illustrations. Mind you, I have to then go like this and hope that maybe this isn't like in the way or whatever. So I'm channeling my inner artist here. Um, Here we go. Let's see. How was it? How am I picturing it so that you know? How am I picturing this so I can explain it to you? Okay, hold on. All right. All right. So let's just say that this is when the Panama Canal was. Everybody remembers it here. It happened earlier in the century, and then I remember it as being something like here, right? So the way you think of the way that you've time traveled, or the way that you know that your path, you shifted in one way or another, was if you so your timeline ended here in that scenario for that occasion, right? And it started here again, right? It started here and it keeps going this way. So like I'm not here anymore. Wait, uh, hmm, you might be able to understand what I'm saying, right? It felt for me like it was here and it's done, so there shouldn't have happened anymore. Now there's a shift where now it's like, okay, why is it now being documented that it was sold earlier than it was, or earlier than it was and it's supposed to be? Okay, and that's important for you to know. All right, so what that illustration means is that we've sort of fixed, at least for me, I'm going, and doesn't mean necessarily anybody around me or anybody that I know will experience the same thing, but you've experienced a change. You know that there's a change. What's significant about events like these, for example? That's a big deal if someone decides to sell or purchase or give back a canal, right? That's be something that everyone would remember. These presidential elections now, you cannot disregard that a lot of people are mindfully thinking about a possible future that's going to happen in the United States. So that's a conglomeration of um, energy that gets together, and some are going to feel bad, and some are going to feel good, right? It's going to happen either way, though. We're going to move in the direction where the mass of consciousness starts to think in a positive way. In a positive way. You think positive about a situation, then you're doing the right thing. Do I think negative? All the time. But I am conscious about thinking negative instead of going into a sociopathic pattern that can happen. It takes years for you to not fall into that kind of pattern. And a lot of people have grinded down the section of their wiring in their brain where they're just stuck in this track and they can't get away. So I don't feel bad for their situation. I understand the situation of most people that are just fixed in this, idea of how you think everyone should be or how the world should be or just how their circumstances are. But as I said in my last video, humanity, humans, and individuals, I would run the world in my own way if I could. You would run it in your own way, and everyone that you ask will have a different opinion about how they think they should run the world, or if they're given a chance, they would run it in their own way. And really, truly, depending on their circumstances of how they develop themselves on this planet, we're looking at a wide range of ideas. But if we can all join together and go for a positive outlook, which works easier than anything negative, it's a lot more effort to do negative things than to just, you know, positively move as a mass consciousness for all individuals involved. If we have an idea, if you have a, if you're backing your favorite presidential candidate, in this case, I don't like politics. I really don't at all. But in America, politics is a big thing. You get drawn in to this, even if you don't want to, right? So, and it serves the example because we're living through it at this moment. Now, I did have to take a short break not long ago, which isn't a bad idea. So I'm just coming back from something here, and I'm trying to pick up on where I was going. Which these past few videos have been it's just as best as I could make them, but still, I like to present myself to you. So if you want to know your past, who you are, who you were, where you're going to you're going to just have to look at these synchronicities, if you will, and work them out for yourself and see if you can understand what's going on, okay, for yourself. So you want some examples of other things that have occurred to me. Mm, there's there was that one, the one I did in my last video. My last video, um, and hmm, I'm trying to think here for a second. Hold on. Yeah, that was wild. Yeah, that last video of mine when I told you what happened was nuts, and the experience that I felt was great. I've that one specific um that one specific video of that experience I've never said before. Um, I've made previous videos where that maybe the title isn't labeled as correctly as it should be, and it doesn't matter. But hold on, because we're getting something here. It might be a channeling. We might be doing a channeling. Humanity is moving in the positive direction, and we are here to serve everyone for the best outcome that we can achieve. Bear with us. Not all have gifts, but we do have contactees that communicate and let you guys know that things are going well. We work closely with your governments and will be reaching out to them in order to continue the progress and the directions of where humanity should be led in the way that they need to progress to go forward. We are from the we're from the Ashtar Command. They're describing themselves and they have they just want to show you how their hat looks. It has a beak and it's flat, goes up slightly, and it has a beak here, and they're sort of tipping their hat to you. They're making that gesture as tipping their hat. They want me to tell a story that they're helping you remember. Thank you. Um, this is a story about a certain individual that kind of works behind the scenes, and he just all of a sudden started waking up to the whole situation and the whole thing that's been going on. We know who this individual is, and we'll be reaching out to him. We'll be reaching out to him just like how we would reach out to your sister and all sisters and all the healing that needs to happen on this planet as we go along. You want me to tell them that? Some humans in this planet are destined to catapult themselves into a different environment for themselves. You'll be able to distinguish certain things from a average population of human beings compared to an above average population of human beings, which is who you are. This process cannot be undone. The solar system is moving in the direction of the Oort cloud, and we wish for him to tell you the story so that you know about what he's talking about. He was looking for you, and he knows where you are. He knows you're there, and you guys are always together. And this is how we end this transmission. So, with the Ashtar command, they project their energy. So, these are the things that I kind of was holding back, and they helped me remember, and I don't want to forget the story, the individual that they're talking about. Um, Him and I are standing together, looking out the window, and he says to me, or I say to him, I can't remember which one of us says this to each other, but the dialogue goes something like this. It's a beautiful planet from up here. So we're looking down on Earth. And either what him or I say, it's a planet worth saving. And we work closely together, you and I. Um, that's something I've never said before. But the higher you go in dimension, the less time is of a constriction. You can say, sis, that at the highest dimensions, we are all experiencing this very time, place, and moment every single time, all the time. That would be your textbook explanation of what source is, to a degree. What I'm saying is that, and I'm just not disrespecting our creator, but it's just a way of explaining how higher dimensional beings understand that source is. So if I could tell you this in the third dimension as we are now, you can ask a sixth dimensional being and he'll say the same answer. He's like, up there, as high as we go back to source, we'll all really just, it's like stamping something, stamping a whole book in one pressing, right? Not going through the steps. Like you're just boom and it's done. You can literally say that, and I've explained this before, it's easier to grow and develop yourself as a soul on Earth from whichever galactic society you're from, because here you can make a mistake, right? You can drop a book, you can hurt somebody, you can just go through life and be a menace if you want to, or be the most saintly person by going to your favorite church on Sunday. It's an incredible amount of freedom. Not that there isn't any sort of freedom on any other different planet, but the mass consciousness of these planets are so connected and linked, right? That like ants, you see how ants are connected in a way that they see a T-bone, somebody ate a steak, they left the bone behind. They know to grab the bone, put it back into their den underneath the ground and do whatever they do with it. It's that kind of mentality of a higher dimension, because anybody has the best and most successful and idea of how to run the planet. You have a different opinion, I have one. Ask anyone, they'll tell you sort of similar but unique to themselves. But these higher dimensional beings, sis, they already know where they're going. They go, they ask their elders, and they can, and it's like, oh, I'm getting something, elder, but I don't know what. And you guys do these mind meld, and you connect with another person's energy, and this person is going to say, oh, you know what? You know that planet Earth that you talk about so much. And I'm like, yeah, you're gonna end up on Earth, and you're gonna have to live an Earth life and help the Earth beings, because it seems like what your goal in life is gonna be, and that's what he'll do. Or as a collective, we need to help this planet because it affects us directly in ways that we don't understand yet, but we'd rather avoid that because we get this. We're all connected enough to know that we need to move in this specific direction. And that's what happens when we have events like, you know, dams that are destroyed, or you have fires that burn. People are in this karmic connection through other people in their communities specifically, right? And they move in this certain type of direction for themselves. And that's important, right? So I hope I'm getting the message through. Um, so yeah, we were both on the spaceship. We had a dialogue. You know, it's a beautiful blue uniform. It's great. To me, it feels like it's not tight on my skin. It's not as tight as it looks, like you would think, like a Star Trek thing. But it's good. It looks great. So, thank you, Ashtar Command. Thank you for the channeling. Um, Sis, you're just a part of another group of souls that are moving in a certain direction so you can help humanity because it affects you. It affects the whole galaxy if humanity isn't free. That's kind of what I want to lead to because I got a little situation here I got to take care of. It's going to get noisy. But either way, I wish you guys the best. I hope you guys have a good rest of your evening. And I am going to write down a few things for the next video, so it's a little more scripted. Thanks, guys, and see you soon.